Hey, y'all, what's going on? Welcome to my live. Brian the Divine Healer here with you. Just setting up all the settings so y'all can come in and we can talk some schmack. That's right. So it's a free, open forum. Talk about whatever you want, okay? It's Friday. You ain't got no job. Probably ain't got shit to do. So we're going to get hot, right? Like I said, open chat. We're going to talk about some things. Let's talk about this Sprite and some pomegranate juice. So good. Right. So what's going on with y'all? Okay. So let's talk some smack. Okay. So here's the smack I want to talk first. I'll start the topic. You guys can follow suit in the chat. Okay. So I want to talk about catfishing. Okay. If you're from down south, y'all know what catfishing is, right? It's like you hook some spit, some popcorn, a hot dog, whatever, with the weight on that, you sink that bitch, it's going down to the bottom, you're going to get yourself catfish, right? But we're talking about catfishing online, okay? So what the hell is catfishing? It's basically people that have fake profiles that come on and troll other people just for the fun of it, okay? Whether it's ego or whatever kind of super sleuth they might want to have, that's what's going on, okay? So I got a huge problem with that, right? Because I try to be as authentic as I can to everybody that I meet, okay? And it's disturbing. Why? Because people that do that just sit in the background, they laugh their asses off, hoo, hoo, he, ha, ha, ha. Like, you don't think that people know some shit, okay? I'm going to be real because this is where I keep it. So kick it in the comments, hit that like button when you come in. I appreciate y'all, right? So check this out. I have a TikTok account, right? And I take these videos from here and I bring them over to TikTok. So everybody from TikTok come over here. You know what it is. It's called marketing, right? So probably about 2 weeks ago, roughly, a Sandra Bullock hit me up, right? And I was like, oh, snap. I mean, let me rub my eyes. Is this some real shit, right? So then I was like, let me just entertain this for a second, right? So we start talking, right? Some small talk. How you doing? Where you from? Blah, 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 right? And then all of a sudden, it was like Sandra Bullock on TikTok asked me if I could give her some money. I mean, wait a minute. Let me rewind that. What? Sandra Bullock, the actress, right? From Speed and all these other movies she's done, right? Blindside and all this. I mean, great actress, right? She's a Virgo too. But I was like, you got to be kidding me, Sandra. You found me somewhere online in Texas and you're going to hit me up for money? I mean, if you got a divorce, it can't be that bad, right? Because you got some bucks. But you're going to ask me. So I was like, listen. You're done. You're reported. You're gone. Bye. See you later. Thanks for the screenshots. You all set, right? So the whole idea of catfishing, like, I don't know what people's problems are, dude. Like, they seriously got some, I mean, to walk around cranky and aggravated, pissed off all day long, just because you cannot express your emotions effectively, maturely, and rationally, don't mean you could take it out on somebody else. Whether you're jealous, you're envious, your ego's blown up because of some kind of competition shit going on. You can only be good as you're going to be. But if someone's better than you, you got to deal with that defeat. And people can't deal with that. And that just gets me like, ooh, you have no idea how much I love that, right? It is annoying. It is a pain in the ass because it happens so much. It gets so tiring. Talk about an energy drain, right? Yeah. But it's like, man, why? So I play along. I'll go with it. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great. This is fancy. Oh, my God, Sandra Bullock's talking to me. She needs money. I got to help her. I got to save her. Wrong answer. So with the people that get annoyed with that shite, that want real change in this world, what do we got to do? Okay, as a people, we can only do so much because we're not in control of these social medias, these cell phone carriers, right? We have no control of that. It's them, right? So it's like this. I really feel that every social media company, you, Mr. Executive of Google, of Yahoo, of Microsoft, all these people. You got to implement a little better security for us as your customers, right? Just like, let me give you a little example. In the news years ago, some lady was going through McDonald's in a drive-through. She got a hot cup of coffee. She grabbed it from the window and it spilled all over her lap. And, right? You could probably fry an egg on her lap, right? Because it's so damn hot. That's kind of like the catfishing idea. So what did McDonald's do? They said, oh shit, this lady just took us for like $1 billion. Estimated, exaggerated, right? But what they did was they put these little sleeves on the coffee cup so you could touch it and grab it without burning your hand, because that's what she probably did. She probably grabbed it. It's like, oh shit, that's real hot, because McDonald's coffee is burning. Trust me, it's one of my favorite coffees because I'm kind of a coffee connoisseur. But on that little cup sleeve, they did say, hey, guess what? Caution, hot cup. So then if she spills it on her lap, it's her own damn fault. Now they can't sue McDonald's for billions and billions of dollars, right? I get it. So now when we're talking about these social medias, they got to do something too, right? So I commend Google, okay? You know, I'm bucking the system every time I get, because a lot of shit's just not right. It's foul, right? Feel free to join in this conversation. Throw your comments out there, whatever, because I'm bringing back some old stuff that y'all wanted. So y'all got it, okay? This is talking dirty, talking grimy, talking real true stuff live for you, okay? So social medias. This is what we got to do over here. You know what I'm saying? These catfish and fake profile shits. How do we stop it? Oh my God. Google did implement this passkey thing where you can't sign into Google on your account unless you're on this very specific device. Mwah! Finally, about time. But you know what your little hiccup was? Your two-step authorization. You make me put my phone number in that shit. Somebody's doing the phone spoofing. Guess what? Now they got my shit because you made me give them up my phone number. Is this a collaboration here or what? I'm not quite sure. But we got over that with the passkey, which is great, okay? So now it's like, oh my God, everybody's still catfishing. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that. What do we got to do about it, right? This is what I say. You want to drop a bomb on these fake profiles, these people that are cowards because they're emotionally immature, jealousy, envy, whatever, obsession, right? Especially people in the spotlight. You have a platform, I have a platform. People go stupid, right? You don't have to be stupid, but they do. So social media should do what other companies that I know that I've used, like to pay my rent at my apartments. It's a secure app that tracks your IP address. So you can have a 12-year-old kid that's quite not ready for Facebook yet because of the age limit. It changes their birth date, and boom, and guess what? Now they got a whole profile, but they know they're youngins, so they're going to put some kind of turtle picture on there as their avatar and hide who they really are. That's a catfisher problem we got. So if we implement, or we rally, have these social media companies implement that if you're going to sign up for this account, we're going to track your MNF and IP address. So that way, when another profile comes to be signed on, applied for, filled out, it's the same IP address. Oh, no. Now you're not allowed to have a second profile. That would eliminate the issue of catfishing immediately. Tell me what you think about the comments. I really feel this is a good idea. We need to rally because you know why? I know the internet is like free. It's wild west time right out here, right? You got a lot of shit like that. People going freaky for stuff, right? Which is okay because you could use it in a good way and learn some good stuff. But also you could recognize the devil and see the devil right there and be like, that's too much. So that's a good kind of balance, I would say, right? I'm not for the rules and regulations of it, but I am implicitly, strategically, fiercely an advocate for authenticity. So if we could make this stuff real where you're only allowed one profile because of your IP addresses being tracked, you go to make a fake one, it's a no-go immediately. That's solving a whole bunch of problems, right? Tell me I'm wrong. What's up, my friend Julie? My Julie, how you doing? I haven't heard from you in a minute. Hope you're doing okay over there in the vineyard. You guys are getting a big old hurricane. So I talked to my daughter last night on Facebook. I'm wrong. No? Yeah, I guess I am wrong. But on what? But there is a hurricane supposed to be coming or whatever. I talked to my daughter yesterday. It was like, look out, watch out. So they're going grocery shopping today because that hurricane Irene or Eileen, some shit is coming your all's way. So I hope you're safe and okay. Right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong. See, I love that when people are so real, it's so logical that sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. Then you get offended. You're like, what? What do you mean? What am I wrong for? I did ask you. Tell me I'm wrong. I love it. Love it. We need more people like that, right? So, yes, these social medias, these platforms that we all use and we all love and care for, we need to, ideal weather. Okay. Well, Mark, the weather guy, Weatherman Plus on YouTube, he's really good. Like, he's a retired vet. He does the weather tracking. And I was like, whoa, big old hurricane's coming. So it might be good today, but a day or two from now, let's check the weather. Okay. That was a synchronicity. That was a sign, right? Horn blowing, check the weather. Right. So, yeah, these social medias, it is a big old monopoly. Weatherman Plus, right? Yes, he's a good guy. Right. He always says a little prayer at the end, too. We like Psalms a lot. So check him out. It's Weatherman Plus. His name is Mark. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I got to give the credit to the social media because they really try hard with their security teams and this and this and this and this. Right. But check this out. Like my phone carrier, dude, I can't. You're going to give me some kind of antivirus to say, hey, if you put this on your phone and you pay $60 a month, your phone's going to be okay for the most part. But guess what? We can't guarantee that shit, right? So then like 2 weeks later, after I got this first turn on in 2021, boom, I hear you, identity theft through my mobile service carrier. So now my social security's gone, my name's gone, my address is gone, rah, 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 right? How well do you think that I feel comfortable, for one, signing on to your antivirus thing that's going to say, hey, we're going to protect your phone for $60 a month. So then I got to decide, well, that could be like my last month's grocery bill, or do I pay this stupid phone? Dang, right? Yeah, stupid, right? So then this company gets hacked. Like, I hear you, T-Mobile. How the hell are you going to get hacked? And then on top of it, tell me to use this app to keep my phone safe. When you let my social security go, you let my name go, and now I have to report it to the feds. And I don't know what's going on because all they said was, hey, when you call social security, they'll just tell you to put a block on your credit. So that way no one's going to run it and da-da-da-da. Well, that's great. Thanks for the speed bump. But what the frig are you going to do about it? Because I have another app that I monitor my credit with. And guess what? They told me, hey, your social security has been breached. You got to do something about it. And that's their limit. That's what they do. So thank you, Capital One, right? I'm giving all kinds of shouts today, especially Red Bull. It does give you wings. When you put a little pomegranate in, it's great. Right. Nevertheless, so all these little curveballs, these hiccups, all these things that we go through, it's a struggle. Oh, no, there's no drinking involved. I probably should because it is Friday, Erica. But, I'm just I'm in this different mood, okay? This new blue super moon was like super strong. It was really magnetic. And I felt this huge pull with being able to see and release some kind of garbage, right? Some way down stuff, past memories, okay? Like I was on FaceTime with my daughter a few hours yesterday. And it was just amazing because I had this moment with her because she just turned 18, right? So I was like, oh my God, right? I just let it rip. It was like all her memories since she was a little baby just came all rushing back. So that as she was 18, I was like, listen, as my experience goes as an adult, blah, 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 blah. Right. So I was definitely feeling nostalgic and it's kind of carried over. So I guess that's where you think the drunkenness is coming in because my energy is really high, but feeling good. Okay. There's no word slur here. I'm not like swerving. Right. And this is straight up Sprite with pomegranate and a splash of watermelon red belt. Yeah. Plus, I'm working. Cut it out. Right. I'm working. So, right. Deal with it. This is another side of me y'all never seen because I trust you. You trust me. I can be open. Now you're going to see how really I open because my energy is completely different than what you see in the tarot. Kind of slurring. AJ, sorry, there's no tarot today. This is just free willy in it. Okay. Kind of slurring because I need some more kind of quenching because the pomegranate and the Red Bull is completely sucking the saliva out of my mouth. I do drink, but it's very, very occasionally because I'm super fun. I'm super like, but not stupid. And, I get arrested and sleeping on a park bench kind of stuff, right? It's a very fun, mellow kind of thing. But nonetheless, okay, we're not getting into me about being drunk because I would have the nutsack to do that on YouTube to be like, hey, guess what? But, we got to keep things in moderation. So yeah, definitely, I really feel that these social medias really need to anchor down a little bit harder on these kind of catfishing fake profiles, right? What do you guys think, right? What do you guys think about all that? Do you have any of these kind of problems? You're allergic to alcohol and Red Bull? Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, this isn't that much for me. And maybe like once or twice a month, I'll get a Red Bull because I don't like the chemicals in it. And, I know that it could cause a stroke in some people, but, I think I'm okay with that. You wish you had a fake profile. Why? Why, Erica? Why would you want a fake profile? Is that for your alter ego? Could it be for your alter ego? Could it be your other side, Queen of Wands in the shadow side? Could be. Who knows? But I just see it as useless, completely pointless. It is out of my mind. People want to do that. Battling bots. Yes. Oh, Julie, that is a never-ending issue with these bots. The stupid chat AIs, it's like, where are we going with all this? I can't, right? Are we trying to get into this transhumanism to eliminate like the human race or something and turn everybody into robots, clones? Like, sorry, I don't really want to be R2D2. Or CPO with the silver leg, right? But whatever. It's all perspective, and it's all really a collaborative thing. Collaborative as in me and you got to be on the same page to see where we're going. AJ, guess what? This is, like I said, a free Willy Friday, right? You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. We're letting it rip. So it's any topic, anything you want to vent about, speak it in the comments and we'll talk about it. I'm the initiator here to let you feel confident that you could speak on something that maybe you wanted to that you didn't before. That's what this Friday is all about, okay? Tarot, there's already a couple out there. If you missed someone in the month, go to the playlist in August and you'll see all that good stuff, okay? Yeah, so that's where we're going. Tarot scammers. Julie, who is a tarot scammer? I hope you're not implying me. That would be very, very hurtful. Yeah, I really hope that that's not what you're implying. Anyways, there are tarot scammers out there, right? I forgot how logical Julie is. So when you got to read a text, it's so plain and so logical that our emotions kick in and we're like, I'm not sure if she's really meaning this stuff or that stuff. Right, thank you. I love the clarity. You've always been truthful with me. I love that. Yeah, seriously. Okay. I'm a critic, okay, because I am that Virgo Libra like some of y'all, right? I really get into this stuff because you know why? The Virgo side of me is like, hey, let's just check this out. Let's see what's going on. Let's find out all those analytic stuff, right? That's the Virgo. But the Libra side of me is like, oh, well, this is great. And now I can kind of relate to some of your messages, right? So I have a few tarot readers that I do enjoy for myself because I don't do personal readings to get it done myself. I support my fellow collective tarot readers. I watch their readings and throw them some likes and shit, which is kind of more than what they do for me, but I'm not expecting it, right? Yes. So I do see a lot of, I'm just going to say, dude, straight up trash. I see a lot of trash. Yes, Erica, it has. Good. Good for you. Doesn't it feel like 1,000 pounds laid off of you? I really like that because that's kind of what I did too. I have no alter egos. Okay. I try to make one other channel, but I was like, I don't need 5 channels. Okay. It's hard enough to just maintain this one with the thousands of subscribers that I have, and only like less than like maybe a third of y'all actually watch my stuff, because I've had other people in the comments from my subscribers saying, I'm not getting any notifications. I don't know what's going on. Blah, 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 blah. So the other channel that I try to make was I'm just the dad too, right? So it's all dad stuff, right? All stuff that dads do, like cooking, cleaning, doing chores, kind of like helping the youngins come up to see how dads are kind of really supposed to be. You know what I mean? And so I did the last video I did, because I only did 2 videos on that shit. I made a video of Veterans Day, and where I used to live, they had flagpoles, and so the flag was all the way up, right? So on Veterans Day, I went to the leasing office, and I was like, "Hey, it's Veterans Day. Do you think we could like lower the flag? You know what I mean? Pay some respect to the veterans." And they go, "Oh yes, we'll get right on it." So I actually go out there and help them crank it down and shit. It's kind of funny. So I made a video of it, and then I put the Star Spangled Banner on there. This is what cracks me up, dude, right? Yeah, they do. Okay, because I did make a Leo Virgo last week, and people were like, when are you going to do Leo Virgo? So I looked at my analytics, and it was gone. It was like 10 days. And then for a regular, regular reading. And then I did like a live a month ago for Leo Virgo. And I was like, no, because I remember the story. This bullshit. So I looked on my phone, and I had found the copy, because the editing app that I use makes the edited version, plus it saves the original version. So I found it, and I was like, that's bullshit. So then I did a live for y'all. So that way it was kind of like made up, because I'm not off track. I totally know, because I have y'all on a schedule. Okay. Some days I might get a lazy and be like, okay, well, I have to run to the county to pay the taxes. I got to go to this place way over there at the apartment, take care of that stuff. So sometimes my day was pretty wrapped up where I couldn't get into all y'all stuff, right? But pretty much got it on lock, right? Thank you very much for that. Shout out to the veterans. Amazing. Appreciate that. Thank you, AJ. Fantastic, right? So where were we, right? Yeah. Kind of lost my train of thought there with the veterans. Thank you. A little flashbacking, right? Kind of made me lose my train of thought, right? Off track. But it's like the authenticity of things is so either so real or so fake. It's like there's no in between. And a G. Oh, yeah, I am a G. Thanks. Appreciate that. I try not to gloat, try not to throw my ego, but sometimes you just can't deny the truth. Thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, it's like I kind of let people kind of show me who they are. This platform's clearly show me who they are. These catfishing people surely show me who they are. Oh yeah, AG. I know, but I was just taking that as a compliment that you were calling me a G, right, AJ? AG, AJ. I know. Sorry. It's just a G is so soundingly phonetically close to J that it just comes out naturally like that. When your brain is going like 16,000 miles an hour, so my 6 thoughts to your 1, I gotta back it up a little bit. So my apologies, my friend. Yeah. So I apologize again. So yeah. Throw some suggestions up here. Come on, y'all. I know you got some shit to bitch about. Let's just not play this little game of I'm not sure, right? This is an open up session. This is time for you to see if you have some things you want to speak about, because there are a lot of topics in this world that, guess what? Nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to say nothing. Ah, oops, AJ. Sorry. I mean, I'm just going to change your name to AJ because it sounds so quicker and easier to say than AG because that G is drawn out and the J is quick. Just play it. Right. Because I have one subscriber. He's like, hey, Brian the Divine. I'm like, okay, that's great. Or Mr. Divine. It's funny, right? So we got to be a little flexible, right? So yeah, I had FaceTime my daughter yesterday and was like, listen, what's going on? I'm sending you a birthday present out. Prepare for this hurricane. She's like, oh yeah, I'm on it, right? She's gonna go grocery shopping. I was like, that's my girl, right? So she was truly being her authentic self. These social media platforms are trying to be authentic, but they really can't because why? They never have that intention in the beginning to be authentic, right? Meaning the way they started their business wasn't for the intent of the collective to be pure and true. It was for their own basic needs of, let me see how much money I can get from it. How about the spiritual meaning of signs and signs? Yes, perfect. AG, let's bring it because you are singing it. I love it. What kind of signs and symptoms? Perfect. I love that. The way I experience that signs of the experiences that I have, I call SOSs. And I call that signs of synchronicities. Right. So when you're tapped in, meaning you're not clogged in your mind with the noise in the world and you have your own safe peace place, you're able to focus, right? You're able to shut all that noise off because your brain's got to shift it all out to make sense of that shit, right? It's even weird with our eyes because when we see the vision we see is actually upside down and then our brain switches it and turns it around and then we can see the image upright. So imagine what that noise does to our brain. Not only that, but with the microwaves and the radiation flowing around from the Wi-Fi, 5G, it's frying everybody's brain. So no wonder everybody's got ADHD and they can't sit still because their mind's going 1,000 miles an hour, right? And they can't shift it down. So some signs that I see are definitely on the clock, okay? I get a ton of synchronicities through the time. 555, 1010, 1212, right? And it's not just like 1 or 2 times a day. It depends on, I guess, where my thought process is in the same moment that I see the synchronicity because it gets consecutive, which means I'll see a 1010, and then I'll see an 1111, and then a 1212, and there'll be a little break, and I'll see 333. Okay, so that's like, whoa, that's a lot of messages. That's a lot of things that are being put to me, which we call downloads, right? Those are the downloads, right? For the visual part of that timekeeping thing, right? So when you do see that, I think the only guide that this monopolizing internet has would be to goggle it and get the angel number message and really compare, I would say at least 3 or 4 websites that would confer to be on the same page as far as what the meanings are. Because then you get like the closest to the truth. Because honestly, I don't think anybody friggin' really knows the exact meaning of that stuff, right? True, right? So we go to goggle the monopoly of the system and we try to work it out that way, right? So then here's the clue, okay? It's not when you see the number. That's just the visual trigger. Boom, we pull the trigger, right? Now we're hitting the e-brake. We're about to do a 360. And what is that going on the bottom of my thing? Hey, sorry, y'all. Some of y'all are going to get some ads, but that's just the way it's all rolling. So we're hitting the brake, doing 360. And so it's not the visual of seeing the numbers. It's actually, you need to know what you are thinking in that moment you see that synchronicity. So when you see 555, it's not you're trying to figure out what 555 means. No, that's the message for you to now see the synchronicity of the angels talking to you, to now remember and understand what you're thinking at that exact moment. Establish a vocabulary. Ooh, so you got a little in with them, huh? I like that. It's a symptom of the flow state. Okay, so what would be the flow state? Would that be meaning that you're in balance with the universe or the deep state? Just kidding. Cool 10-4. Yes, sir. Roger that. I'm glad that you understood that, because that is exactly one of the main signs of synchronicities that I get. Now, the runner-up, the second place, is definitely music. I know I have a lot of clairs, okay? Clairaudio, clairvoyance. There's like 4 or 5 of them. I don't want to get into that. You can go over that and figure it out, right? But I have a bunch of them because I can't really obviously tell you all my secrets, because we do have peekers and creepers up in here taking notes, okay? Like when people ask me when's my birthday, I'm like, I generalize it, because when I give you the specific date of my birthday, well, now you can look at my birth chart. We're not going there, right? We just talked about those social media catfishing profiles. We're on a different topic now, right? Yes, sir. That's how it is. 7 clairs. Okay, I'm going to double check that, because I thought there might be like 5, right? But look, Julie's in it to win it, right? So definitely with the music, there is so much of those messages, of those downloads, okay? And it's the same thing for the time. When you see the 555, when you see the 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 minutes, or 10 hours, 10 minutes, and 10 seconds, because sometimes it could come in triples like that. It's, you have to remember what you're thinking, but it's really what you're feeling, okay? That's all, it's all levels, okay? So the first level is the visual. Boom, I see the time, 555. Now my logic kicks in and says, what does that mean, right? So then if I already done research, well, then I kind of, if I don't have a photographic memory, then I'm not going to exactly verbatim the definition in my brain. So I'm going to generalize it. So then it goes from your logic that way to now your emotions. And that's where the pull is the most of the message. Because you're going to have the logic to see the time synchronicity, but then in that moment, your feelings of what you are experiencing emotionally is the message. So if you're listening to one of your favorite songs, right? Like Julie said, we're getting nostalgic over here. You all bebop and dancing in the kitchen, right? Doing a little twerking, right? How are you feeling in that moment? I mean, you're shaking your ass, you're dancing around, you're probably vacuuming, sweeping up. I don't do chores, because I like to do that. Throw on the music and just wiggle around, right? Yeah. Oh, love, Julie. That's a whole different topic. Right? So we're all wiggling around, right? So when you get out of your blurry wiggle and you look at the stove and it says 555, the message is for you to now be drawn to see it, to think it, and then to feel it. And then once you feel it, then you could be it. Okay. So the messages of the angels are going to tell you, hey, you're on the right track. Hey, you swerved a little bit. Hey, you totally crashed. Who knows? It's different for everybody, right? For sure. Right. But it's in that moment that you need to recognize of your, not so much your thoughts, but your feelings. What's going on for you in that moment, right? And that is going to give you a message. And sure as shit, you're going to be like, whoa, that's crazy, because now it's insane. Now I understand it with my logic because I've physically seen it. Now I can believe it emotionally because that's what I was feeling when I goggled this shit, and it was the same. Too easy, right? Biofeedback, exactly. So is it the matrix generating your personalization that you have for your Gmail? So when you look up crystals, now you're on Facebook and that's all you see is crystal ads? I don't know, but I don't think so. It's a different story that way. And I think, yes, the angel feedback. And I think these social medias, they understand that. The leaders of these social media, maybe not the mail person or the coffee person or the software person or the tech person, it's the main person, right? Because they know the reach, that long ass arm of what they can try to derail you from. I'm just going to put it live because we are, and it's hot. Because We all know about our freedom of speech. But we see too many times, too many people that it just don't seem to be that way, right? So whether you get shadow banned because you said, hey, our president fell off his bike, you make a little joke, now you're shadow banned. Stop. Stupid. Mandated certain body parts as time indicators. Okay, so if I have a physical response, I know if the information is given. Wow, that is like far out. AG, what? You're on a different level. Consciously assisted technology. I'm not doing brain implants, but they're going to give you the jab and sink their little nanobots in your ass. Maybe that for sure. Yeah, you're on a different level, AG. Like, this is crazy. I mean, I get sensations, okay? Sometimes when I get these synchronicities and the feeling associated with it is so relevant and so strong that certain parts of my body do kind of react. Like my forehead will feel like I'm having a headache, or I'll get little tingles. You know what I mean? There's just different symptoms for different people, right? Oh, Julie, you're not seeing AG in the comments? What? I'm sorry. Everybody that's in here now is free flowing and all my subscribers. So I don't know how they can get by without being seen in the chat. That's kind of amazing. Because I know I can't see all my subscribers because, oh, well, that is your answer. This is why I love my family, because y'all are so good for each other that you just spill it all out right there in front of your face. I know it's messing with you, but everything is glitchy. Yes, Venus Mercury retrograde. Don't forget. Okay, so love is going a little backwards. So the people that were that fake love is now rotating out of your life. Oh, we got a little drama going up on here. Julie, is this any truth? Is this any truth that AG is speaking? Okay. And the words tarot scammer is so broad that we need maybe a little definition of that there, AG. I don't see. I know, Julie, because AG said you got blocked by you because where is it? Where'd it go? AG was accused of being a tarot scammer. Sounds like we need a little clarity. I know I'm trying to give it to her, AG, right? Yeah, Julie. So you heard me. That's your response. And Erica, we got a little indifference between AG and Julie. Okay. So that's on them to work this out, because this is our free time now on Friday to let some things go, because we're in the tail end of this super blue moon. Okay. And so if cycles that you're going through haven't been let go, right? You have 3 days before the fullest moon, and then you have 3 days afterwards to work all this energy out. Okay. People, places, and things that need to go. This is the time. I asked about the scammers that Brian had mentioned. Okay, right. It wasn't nice. Okay, AG, I am sorry for Julie because she maybe came off a little direct, because even me gets a little hindered with her directness because she's really logical. Okay, so maybe a little bit of flexibility in getting some clarity would not help. I mean, would not hurt at all. Right. Ooh, I need a monocle because it'd be so better just to, because I'm always taking them on and off, and I already broke like 3 of these pairs. So let's get another topic going here. I like the one that we had. It could be getting a little too deep between personalities, right? So we don't really want to hog the live. But the truth shall stand. I know I need a larger screen. I should get my curved TV hook it up, see if I can rig it up that way. So I think it's y'all me, but it's all I got for right now. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Erica. I'm trying to figure out the truth between if Julie accused AG of being this tarot scammer or not. Because AG blocked Julie. And Julie, we're not calling you out. AG, we're not making everything this impossible thing to figure out. Okay. I like the idea of this openness. Okay. Even if it sounds accusatory and like, oh my God, because I mean, if you're going to live in your truth and you're going to be authentic, you got to stand on the facts. So if somebody's talking shit and the other person's like, I ain't dealing with it, block your ass off, and the other person's like, hey, what's going on? I think there should be some kind of explanation, a little tiny bit, right? So, Erica, give me a topic, right? Just blurt out something. I like the little book that you sent me the idea because I'm about to look on the Amazon there for the Kindle and get it up there and read it because it's very connected to making a lot of sense, right? Because the title was really catchy. I like that idea. You're welcome. All right. So let's see. We had the social media crap, and that's kind of like that's gonna be like a run-on sentence. I really don't want to keep going about the social medias, right? Because it's a little bit of a trigger for me, right? I've been doing this in 9 days. I'll be doing this for 3 years. 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, so maybe AG, there was a misunderstanding when Julie referred to people you referred to. Okay. If there's a guilty conscience and you're triggered, well, that could be the sign of something, an issue with you. But if it was an indirect statement generalizing people as a whole, well, then I don't think it was intentionally directed as you being the scammer. Okay. So, like I said, if your butthole was clenching, you got a little guilty conscience. Well, let's just not hope that you're the scammer. Okay. Because you could easily clarify that and say, no, I am not. And then game over. Done deal. Right. And in a little bit of a sense, it's some validation, right? Because you have some mixed emotions and they have some mixed emotions, and there could just be that misunderstanding in the interpretation of the way that we talk through text, which is so plain to understand when you read because there's no emotion in it. Tell me I'm not lying. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, there was, yeah. Okay, AJ, right. Okay, I take it that you feel offended, and I do feel sorry for you in that way. And so if Julie's going to clarify to say, AG, that's not what I meant, then we could leave it there. That's it. Because I believe in that, right? Because then we're going to hold on to some things, and then we're going to harbor some emotions, and then now it's a whole battle royal, and it's just a waste of stupid time. Because why? You could say something, and they could say something, and put that together on the reel, and then it's over. Too easy, right? So yeah, how's that? So let's talk about schools. Let's talk about some school stuff. I don't know if y'all have some kids that are in school, because my last one just finished up, right? She just graduated. Yeah. Oh, Julie, we love you too, okay? And sometimes, in families, we do bicker. We do have a little bit of difference of opinions. You know why? Because we're all individuals. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody feels the same. So we got to respect that idea, right? Because if you are being told something you don't know and you feel offended, because why? You may be having a self-esteem issue because you're not so intelligent. Not saying that's the case, but it happens. Then you get to have some resentment from somebody that's trying to give you this natural, factual information. And once we turn the dial, then things kind of can be a little more clear. Okay. That's how I keep it with my kids, right? So speaking of those kids, Some of y'all got them, some of y'all don't. Some of y'all that got them have more because they have, could be a grandmother, right, Erica? Love it, right? So we kind of have been taught as a young age to kind of go with the system of understanding our education. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Julie. I love you. Hey, G, I love you too. Erica, I love you too. Okay. So let's keep going. Because we're going to mingle it in with some of the social media stuff too, right? We're going to pull it in because nowadays the social media is our news. That's what we go for. That's what we listen to. Like, that is now scripture. And that is like total bull caca. I can't stand it because even these own social medias, you guys are amazing. See how my family works it out? I love that, right? Y'all love each other, and I know that, and that's fantastic. Even though we don't know each other from a hole in the wall, this is how you got to work it out. Straight up, right? So that's mighty big of y'all, and thank you. Finally, now we can get to some talking. Right? Yeah, but these schools, right? Okay, so I was on Facebook probably like a month ago, and there was this kid, right? And he was on a school property on the track and field with the track, right? And so he was standing there, and I was like, okay, this is weird. And you could kind of see some kids off to the side, right? And so when I played the video, it was like a parody of the Grand Theft Auto, which is a game. And in that game, this dude runs around and gets guns and tanks and all shit and just wreaks havoc across the whole city. So they like video edited this video of this kid staying in the school on the track to now be this video game where now this kid pulls out these fake animated guns and starts shooting the kids that were on the other side, you know. And boom, it was just hot, right? Everybody's watching it. Social media's blew it up. And when I seen that video, it just totally turned my stomach because if these social media companies are going to promote the idea of their community standards and policies, knowing, this is what bites my ass, knowing that we have kids doing those things in schools to other poor kids, right? And now the school's on lockdown, the town's on lockdown, and it just seems to be this pattern, right? But that's a parental thing, and we can get into that later. But they allow it. And so I was like, I can't even deal, right? So immediately I was like, let me just share this with all my friends, all my family members, and put this out there to say, share this video and let everybody know how this is disgusting. And the company that is allowing this on their community standards, they really think this shit's appropriate to show gun violence on a children against other children in a freaking school? What's wrong with you? That's what I'm saying. That kind of shit needs to be changed, man. So these social medias, it's not the norm. It's whacked out. And it's kind of the parents' fault, right? Because they are the monitors of your children, right? They're a reflection of you. Julie may be criminal, not, but I bet you deep down inside, that's just some kind of emotional loss that this kid was feeling, to feel the way that he did, to do what he did. That's what I'm saying. So with the right help, with the right ideas, and with the right direction, maybe the right words, things can be changed around. I'm tired of the catfishing. Can we implement some kind of thing where tracking your IP address, you can only have one profile? That'd be great. Okay. We're worried about drugs in our schools and all this other shit. We'll set up a metal detector. These kids come walking in, but you have a cute little beagle standing with the guy at the door, but he's a drug sniffing dog. So 15 kids come in, beep, beep, and everything's fine. That last kid comes in, beep, beep. Guess what? Hey, son, come with me real quick. We just got to check your bag because the dog's sniffing it. The kid doesn't know any different because that beagle's cute as shit, right? Doesn't know the difference. Then you can seclude the situation, handle it appropriately and professionally, and be safe. But in my interpretation, spreading on social media has become the norm. That is exactly right, AG. Folks feed off it because you know why? It's the demons that are pulling people into this kind of agreement, the situation of understanding of sure, that's norm, right? Okay, so it's a fine line of understanding here and here. Okay. So when you open yourself up and you see the truth of things like Julie's so logical, right? If you started seeing just the black and white and no gray, well, then your perspective is different on the way that you see the world. Addicted to adrenaline, so many people. Is it what is it? Adrenochrome or adrenaline? Oh, because I'm not talking about secrete. Yeah. Dopamine here. Woo! You guys are all up in your truths, right? I love it, right? No adrenaline, no fear. Interesting. So you're just kind of neutral. See, I'm pretty laid back, right? I'm really chill. I'm really casual. If you really, really got to know me, I'm a fun guy. I really am. I mean, I'll probably make you piss your pants in Walmart. I've done it before, right? It's natural to me, right? Because I love to make people smile and joke, right? But since the Army and the safety that they had pounding in your brain to keep yourself alive, well, that kind of made me see the world a little different, right? So now I see all these little things that aren't really good and safe and all that and stuff. And so with the cognitive behavioral therapy that I experienced, the anger management classes that I went through, I got a grip on that shit. But in now my spiritual sense, my soul can't take it. And so the emotions that come out from that can be fears. It could be not in an aggressive way to hurt or harm people. It's to look at somebody, and if they're being a douchebag, I'm going to keep Boston for a second, right? If they're going to be a douchebag, I was Army AG, right? I'm retired, right? If they're going to be that to you uncalled for, unnecessary, thank you, my friend. Air Force, I hear you. Love the camaraderie, but I hear you, Air Force. Love, I got much love for you because y'all came into my base and, we worked good together because you guys helped us set up our camp. You gave us some nice, good food, right? Shelter. And we hooked you up with your vehicles, right? Get you rolling, right? Nice to meet you too, my friend. Right. So, the triggers are always going to be there. It's just how you handle it logically, like for seeing things, and then being able to kind of understand the logic of things, and then the emotions can kind of now get tamed. Okay. Before it was like, I didn't understand stuff. I was like, oh my God, crazy. So I had this retired cop of 20 years. He was my psychologist, psych counsel, whatever guy. He gave me this like SOP, which is little homework assignments to kind of make me rationalize some things that I was triggered by. Okay. And so one good thing to really know your triggers is to have your experience in your mind, right? So we have a conversation in our mind, but it doesn't come out of our voice. And then the voice that comes out with the story is now different, but it gets worse when you write it down. Okay. And so to understand your triggers, you really have to now think about it and then speak about it and then physically write it down. And then if there's a glitch, oh, Scott Irish, huh? Oh, Lassie. That's funny. I'm very much into my DNA. And I'm Scottish and Norwegian and Swedish. I hear you, Viking. So yeah. So with the triggers, when you can understand the logic of it, meaning like for me, I was in charge of security, so I had to protect 6,000 people in the base, dealing with people with guns and bombs and all sorts of crap. can be emotionally triggering when your life is on the line for 15 months straight. I don't give a shit who you are. You can be the biggest badass Billy there is. You can be the nicest person on the planet. When you have that fight or flight moment and you're trying to rationalize the situation logically, but your emotions are running too high, you're never going to be able to get it. There's always going to be an imbalance. That's why people get into arguments. That's why spouses leave each other. That's why boyfriend and girlfriends cheat on each other and all this other shit, because no one wants to see the real shit about themselves that maybe needs a fine tuning emotionally and logically. So if I go overseas and I go through some shit and my spouse doesn't understand that because she wasn't there, but then sees some of the symptoms of that, knowing some of that, but intentionally causes more of that emotion to be drawn out, then you're an asshole and you deserve some of that emotional reaction. But that's what the untrained eye and the non-processing of speaking it when you think it and writing it down and seeing the difference, because there are a lot of false memories, relationships, what you did yesterday. Like, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we get so busy in our brains, there's just too much to get exactly detailed. So when you go through those processes of writing things down, speaking it as you think it, then you'll see the difference. Like, I did life coaching video, and it's like, okay, this is how you do your budget. Y'all jacked up on your bills. You know how to do shit. You tuck your bill in the glove box, and you're like, why isn't this bill paid? Or your spouse gives you the money to pay the bill. You take half, and you spend it, and then you put that other half on the bill, and it comes in next month. It's half of what it is plus your new bill, and the spouse is like, why is the bill so high? And you're like, I don't know. Stop it, right? That all can be easily avoided. But it's when the logic gets suppressed and the emotion comes out and you hide it because you might feel guilty. People feel jealous, envious, all this other crap. And so now we can't get to any truth. So now what we got to do is we got to fight through these emotions, okay? Like, AG, why are you really coming at Julie? Okay, and we found that out. Julie, is this what's going on? What is your perspective, right? And so I know, Army Brat, we got a lot of veterans up in here. Well, related to or as of. I love it. But when we get that clarity and you say, okay, so if I come to you and you say, hey, what is your name? And I say, my name is Brian. And then you're like, oh, because you were half paying attention, you're going to be like, oh, well, is your name Brian? And I'm like, in my logical mind, I didn't say Brian. I said Brian. So now I'm going to be like, are you even paying attention? Is it even worth me telling you my name when you weren't even really getting it right? So I get emotional and be like, you're a turd, and just leave you alone. And then all of a sudden I find out, because you're my best friend's friend, that you're an amazing person. And now I just lost out on that only because of that minor difference, right? This is my family, getting it all worked up. Love it. Love it. I love it. Okay. So with this theme of Friday, it definitely is a free-for-all Friday. So I'm going to be jumping topics like Mad Hatter, okay? Because I don't really get to experience a lot of lives because of the juju and the evil eyes that people just constantly send out, okay? And when you do spiritual work, I don't care if you do Reiki, I don't care if you do tarot, I don't care if you do runes, all these other things, right? When you do too much of anything, it becomes a negative energy draw, which means it's basically sucking the life out of you. Interpretation versus active listening. Yes, now we're talking about selective hearing. Fantastic, Julie. Love it. Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. It just depends on what you went through in your life. Okay. I think that's what really clams us up, right? Holds us back from our emotions, meaning we're not going to express how we really feel because, one, we might be too nice and we don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings, though we're craving that truth. What do you got to do? Bottle it up, then resent this person? I don't know, maybe. But for me, I'm doing something right now behind the scenes. It's a good positive thing, okay? But I can't really say what I'm doing because then I'll let the cat out of the bag, and then I'll get these peekers and creepers that's going to steal shit, take ideas, whatever, right? But I'm about halfway through with this thing, right? And I know that when I put this out and y'all get to see it, there's going to be such a comparison for y'all that are allowed to see it, emotion, that whatever you were going through in this freaking moment or even in your past, you're now not even going to sweat that shit. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for any kind of whatever. It's going to be a real story about real things. But when you see and you hear what has been to what you see now, it's going to be a whole different world, my friends. Yes, the humor sometimes can be translated into, or translated from fear, rejection, all that. You ever heard of the nervous laugh? Yeah, for sure. People have that. Let me tell you a little story, okay? You might want to loosen up the belt, grab yourself a little tea or a drink or some popcorn. I'm going to spank it on you right now. Okay. I never knew my father, period, point blank. Never seen him, never knew him, never nothing, right? So my mother got married. Now this guy's my stepfather. And this guy was the biggest POS on the planet. Hold on, AG. I'll get you there. I'll get you there, my friend. Give me a minute. Let me finish the story. He was associated with a certain group that drove motorcycles, right? And he had a big belt buckle to show it. So I don't know about being 7 years old, and when your brother goes in the fridge in the middle of the night, drinks a little milk. This douchebag decides to see that some of the milk was gone, and now it's an inquisition. Smack it. You better stop. We're not going there. Okay. So this guy went so far as to draw in a permanent marker the line of the milk in the carton. So if it was below that, now we got the firing squad. But it got worse. He would take baby powder, spray it all over the kitchen floor. No lie. And then, only then, in the morning, when you wake up to a snow-filled kitchen of baby powder and you see the footprints, now you're lining up all your kids. Now you're going to match the footprints. And whatever footprint is matched up, that's the culprit that drank the milk, which was my brother. So we all got a beating. Lying over the bed, big buckle with the belt. And it was bad, really bad. But there was a moment where God came to me and said, I'm going to give you a friend. I'm going to give you a friend, and his name is Michael. But I'm not going to tell you it's Michael here. Here I'm going to tell you. But here, you can call him Frank. Okay? And so the next time this is going to happen, Frank is going to help you. Okay? And I was like, okay. So then my brother got up in the middle of the night, went on the kitchen, drank some milk, ate some cheese. So the joke of the family now is who took the cheese? Because lined up all the kids in the garage because he found the footprint. And now none of those parents, my mother, my cousin's parents, nobody was there to intervene on this pig. So it came to be that my brother was the culprit who had the footprint in the baby powder in the kitchen, the one that took the cheese and drank the milk. Right. It was survival mode to this day, AG. You have no idea. That's my path. And we'll get into that later. Okay. So to finish up the story, from that moment on, when my stepfather got the confirmation of it was my brother that was doing this. I can't even believe I'm sharing this with y'all right now. But this is the real me. That's what you're going to get. So my stepfather found some kind of way to acquire a straitjacket. So because my brother woke up in the middle of the night, my brother was a big boy. He was hungry, right? My mother used to cook a pound of spaghetti for each of us kids, and she had 3 kids. My stepfather locked my brother in a straitjacket at fucking night. So he wouldn't get up and go in the fridge and get a snack. So every night, this youngest brother, the baby brother, went and do his straps and let him free. And in the morning, my stepfather would come right to me because I shared a room with my brother because we had bunk beds. Put me on the top. I was falling off. I'm always on the floor in the mornings, right? But I would get my ass beat because I let my brother out of the straitjacket. So how are you going to be 7, 8 years old looking at your brother in your room across from you and he's wrapped up like a mental patient? So from that point on, when Frank, Archangel Michael, was with me and has been to this day, said, you ain't going to feel this no more, son. Every time you're going to get beat, you're going to laugh. And you're going to laugh so hard that this boy is going to beat you harder because he thinks you think it's a joke. Oh boy, my stepfather was livid. And my ass was blistered. Go out back, son, and get me a peach tree limb. Find the thinnest one so I can whoop your ass with it. That was my stepfather. So when we have to deal with emotions and triggers that we don't get clarity on, well, then we beat ourselves up because we can't beat up the person that did it, right? Because we didn't get the clarity. So I commend you, AG and Julie, for squashing that shit right now. So when you don't get that clarity, you emotionally beat yourself up. You drink, you smoke some pot, you do stupid shit. I don't care, whatever you do, however you can relate. That's your own situation. That's what happens. Okay? It really does. It's a natural thing because your parents are supposed to love you no matter what. You failed in school, yeah, you're still my son, right? Or my daughter. We're going to correct it. We're going to try to get you to learn better so then you can get that F up there, right? And some parents don't know how to do that. You know why? Because they didn't have it done to them. So they don't have that understanding, that learning. Okay. And that's a broad topic that can go off every single subject. ADHD, kids that are just disorderly and talk back. And I mean, all this crap. It's because there's no enforcement. There's no structure. There's no way for that kid to understand what it's supposed to be, because now they're going to react in a way that's natural. And if it's not correct in the moral sense, then no one's there to fix it. And we totally run into that side swiping shit with our kids in school. Because now we got these colleges coming in and trying to teach these kids about the curriculum that they got going on, to now having this example of everybody in this planet when they were growing up, they're like, somebody at least asked you, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, I don't know. I want to be an astronaut, because you're free. You're unconditional. You're in that Empress energy. That's the kid. And then it gets tainted, But we lose that. We lose that with the idiots and the hackers and the stalkers and the president that falls off his bike, is getting all this money from China, putting in his pocket, and the competition knows they can run over this dude left and right, but we're going to find a little crooked pinhole to tweak some shit, make you go out of this competition. Keep this idiot still involved in jacking all our lives up. I don't care. I'm live. This is how I do it. I'm in 68 countries. I hope a lot of people are hearing this, because I am being real. And people can't accept the real, well, then you need to go over there, okay? Straight up, I'm telling you. It's too much. So we're pulling it back into the triggers, okay? So when I was laughing at those spankings, I mean, welts, bruises, you name it. I don't know about a stepfather being like 40 years old and closed fist punching you in the face. How do you deal with that when you don't have the support from the other person, who you call your mother, to hold you and coddle you and make you feel that what's being portrayed, what's happening, what's going on, isn't what's supposed to be? So then what do? You grow up to learn that love hurts. Love equals pain. My stepfather's beating my ass because I saved my brother from being in a straitjacket. Now it's my fault. And this is the way that they're showing love. That is your curriculum in school. So now when a kid goes to school, I don't know what I want to be, because you're telling me all these different things that you're directing me to, but it doesn't feel natural and right for me. Now I'm going to college and I'm even more confused, and I see all my friends just kind of kicking it, relaxing. So now I'm going to get off track. Now I'm going to get out of college, whether I make it or not. And I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want to be. I don't know where I'm going. So you tell me, how was this education really working out for anybody? It's not. Because there is no foundation of longevity, of collaboration, of willpower and drive, imagination and creativity. Dude, I don't give a shit about algebra, because I never have to use that in my life. And now if I have to, thank God I got my phone for some fractions or decimals, okay? Because I had to do pre-algebra twice in high school and I sucked, right? I'm not the best. I totally suck. We must have a secure home base in order to learn, right? Okay, so Julie, perfect, right? Home base. What if you have one partner that is that dedicated, loyal, I'm putting the kids on the bus, I'm cooking the food, I'm doing the laundry, and then you have the other spouse being the slacker, trying to give all the orders. How do you balance that for your children? spare the rod, spoil the child. AG, you just took your hammer, whacked it right on the head. We are all God's children. And God wants us to be that innocent, free, spirited, unconditional being. Okay? Enjoy the earth. We are keepers of the earth. And what are we doing to it? We're taking a big old shit on it. People are like, oh, what are we going to do about the trash that we have? And so now we have this environmentalist thing going on. So now we have all these activists, right? Oh, I'm an activist. Look at me. I'm on fucking TikTok with a sign saying I'm an activist. Go pound sand. You know why? Everybody is telling everybody the problem. We know there's a huge trash problem because it's floating in the Pacific. What are people doing about it? Now, I'm going to give you this example because I had this conversation with my daughter yesterday on FaceTime, and we got into some things, okay? And so when everybody's keep presenting the problem with now, oh, hey, this person over here, they have a solution. What is your solution, my friend? Well, let's all go to the beach, and we're going to pick up all these six-pack rings so the turtles and the birds, the dolphins don't get choked out. Yay for the moment. I give you that credit. Boom. But my friend, here's what you don't understand. Here's what you're not seeing. And you get a B+ for your effort. You are not seeing the big old trash heap coming behind you when you scoop up that trash and you think you're a fucking hero. Here comes a whole bunch of more trash on top of it. So now what the term is called? Shoveling shit against the tide. Oh, the confrontation with my parents was huge. Cops, social workers, investigators, you name it. 7 years of therapy. Thank you. So the trash is like this cycle. Boom, boom, boom. What are we going to do about environmentalism? So me, always outside the box, was like, check this out. Okay. NASA is not a private company. It is a government-sponsored company, just like the Federal Reserve. Back in the, don't quote me, fact check me, but the 30s or 40s, when this economy was running with no money because the banks couldn't do it, Congress enacted the Federal Reserve to help out these other banks to take on big loans. So the Federal Reserve is federally run under the laws of the Constitution with the amendments and all that crap. I don't want to get into that. But now when they come on the news, oh, it's the feds raising the rates. It's the feds raising the rates. No, dude, it's the dude that fell off the bike that's making an executive order to raise your gas prices. That's the twist. Okay. So when we kind of ignore those things and we become the sheeple of everything, you got people that shine better than that stick outside the box, that see ideas like, here's my idea for the trash. Made a video. Hey, we got environmental problems. We can't do nothing with our trash. We try to do the recycling mounds you got out there with acres and acres of trash that they try to, bury, absorb some of the heat from the sun to chemically transform the bacteria to eat more of the trash. And then now they're farting out methane and you got it covered. So now you're trapping the methane and you're collecting. I gave you that great idea. But as you know, real estate prices are crazy. Stupid. Where's all this land going? How are we going to do all this? Oh, wait. First, we're letting the Chinese come in and buy farmland. And this Bill Gates guy, I don't give a shit who you are, Bill. I'll put you on Front Street left and right. You are crooked as shit. You need to stop buying 240,000 acres of farmland because you have this idea of wanting to eliminate the overpopulation. So you're making polio vaccines to kill 20,000 people in Africa. Now you're buying what? Farmland in the heart of America because you want to put this plastic shit on vegetables, which is really just like your prick with the nanobots going into your body or whatever, dude. I don't want to get that far into it. So, obviously, the way you were raised impacted the way you raised your children. In your therapy, did you ever confront your parents? My stepfather went to jail for like a week, got probation for like 2 years, had a restraining order of 100 feet away from the house. This bitch got a trailer, pulled it up 99 feet in front of the house before the boundary of the restraining order of 100 feet. And then one night got drunk and decided to come in the house. And I remember this very specifically that HBO was brand new. Boom. Now it's on the little black and white TV. Now we're watching HBO. And we're eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. This dude comes in the house. Mother comes out of the bathroom. She starts freaking out. Mother goes back in the bathroom or wherever in her room behind her door. She grabbed a Louisville Slugger. She came charging across the living room as we're sitting here. The TV's here, and my mother's running across with the bat. Boom! Grand slam home run, knocked that dude's kneecap from here to China. So seeing that kind of stuff was traumatic, of course. But the point that I got from it was, one, when there is something that is going to affect your destiny in some kind of way, and it's not natural, it has to be stopped. Right? Meaning if you have people in your life that are influencing you in the way that you're not normally, those people need to go. That's why we have these cycles, right? But it also taught me how my mother was so defensive of her youngins, no matter who. Her husband, her ex-husband, I don't give a shit. You touch my kids, whack. You ain't. Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing? Narcissist beyond. You have no idea, right? So in that traumatic moment, do you ever think now later as an adult, even after therapy and all this other stuff that I had to go through, to sit down and turn on HBO Max, and then maybe randomly I hear that in the very beginning of HBO. That's the memory I have before the incident. So now we got the trigger. I'm a grown-ass adult. I already went through that, handled it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Maybe what I thought. So then now the first movie of your HBO that's coming on is freaking Jaws, because that was the movie coming on when my mother's coming with the bat. So not only the music of HBO is now going to trigger me into that moment, into that memory, it's now the movie of Jaws now coming on, which is the same memory that I had of that moment. And God forbid if I'm eating Kentucky Fried Chicken, because that's a trifecta, and now I'm all done emotionally. Because all that's being pulled back to me. For what reason? Any suggestions? Any ideas? Oh, I surely broke that pattern straight in half. The cycles we have, dude, they're every 30 days, people. That's what we call the moon cycles. Every 30 days, you get a chance to break some shit that don't work for you. Period, point blank. Okay? Fresh starts every 30 days. People wonder why they're walking around like zombies, always going through the same shit all the time, every time. Because why? They're not addressing their triggers, which is emotionally pulling them out to either cave or nay, yay or nay, right? Breaking the cycle or continuing the cycle, okay? Sometimes, oh no, not that. I have HBO Max all day long. And, I love Jaws because Julie, she knows she's over there in the vineyard They made the film over there, right? With some robotic shark. It was really cool. But no, I don't get triggered with that. But I was just gonna get to that, AG. There are other things that carry on. Okay. So, like for me, when I was in service, I was straight boom in the middle of Baghdad, right? Baghdad in Iraq. And they called the certain point of this area in Iraq called the Triangle of Death. What? That's your duty station? First going in the army is the Triangle of Death? It's going to get heavy. Okay. So one day there was mortars, bombs coming over the wall, which was like 65 feet high, maybe 35. I don't know exactly. Whatever. See, false memories. But it's when you progress back in your memory, you'll get the clarity. Okay. So that helps you with the triggers. Okay. That's the writing and speaking your story to see the difference. And if there's a glitch, well, then you know that could be the false memory. Let's get on with the psychology and go to the story. Okay. So when the mortars came over the wall, boom, it happened to land on our ammunition. Okay. And it wasn't just for like a company or unit. Okay. So for those non-military, a company is a smaller section of a unit. A unit is a bigger section, usually like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, right? Those are different sections in this unit that are collaborated with logistics, mechanics, you got the medics. It goes on and on and on, right? So when they hit our ammunition dump with these mortars and these bombs, I was probably like my little hooch where I sleep every night was about, I don't know, I would say like 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet away, foot paced, right? To where our ammunition was. And when the bombs came, boom, blew it all up. Now, it wasn't a company. It wasn't a unit. It was a battalion's worth. So when you have a battalion, you have many different units that have many different companies, which are many different people. A unit usually comprises of like 4 squads. So Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, which you could have like 30 people in each section. So now 30 times 4 is your math because I suck at pre-algebra. And now that is now a unit. Now you take that unit and you multiply that by like 6, 7. Now you have a battalion. Okay. And everybody has their own shit. So they pile it up. You got the tank guys. You got the infantry guys. You got lieutenants carrying a sidearm. So they pile it all up in this ammunition, which is just like, shipping containers. And they were supposed to bury in the ground, and they never did because they're freaking lazy. So the mortars came over, hit that shit, boom. Trigger for sure. This was a huge trigger for me for like, I'd say about 7 years, 6 years after the military. Because when those bombs hit our ammunition, small arms fire, so the handguns, right? And then you got the machine guns, and then you got the RPGs, tank rounds. You got all these different kinds of ammunitions that are now blowing up. Okay, so you hear pop, 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 pop. And then boom, because the tank round blew up. So now I've seen this big mushroom cloud. And being about 1,500 feet away, that shit is not cool because every explosion, that shockwave comes right through you. This shit blew people across the walls, blew doors off the hinges for 13 hours straight. You can goggle that. FOB Falcon, aha, explosion. Go ahead, AG, find that shit. That's what I lived through. So since that moment, going through therapy, through the army, going through neurology to make sure that I wasn't concussed because I have TBI from the shockwave blasts. It's like you don't have control of that situation. So now it's straight panic, right? Like some people are afraid to fly. So what do? They drive across country. You can control that. But when you're in the military, there's no control. So you got to go with it. Okay. So what? Now we're talking about the 4th of July. Okay. A couple years out, forgot about some things, feeling good about some things. 4th of July comes. That first firework, pop. That trigger comes back. I have friends, I have family. Come on. Let's go to the 4th of July for the kids. It'd be fun. Nah, y'all go ahead. I spent many years in my house, no lights on, secluded, trying to turn on the music and the radio and everything so I couldn't hear the 4th of July fireworks because it was triggering me in the emotional life or death situation that I was in. With no support other than the Army being like, oh, okay, well, that was kind of rough, so I think you need to go to the house for a minute. You'll be good, okay? Thanks, appreciate that. You're great, right? No transition into civilian. It's a different story. So now I have to figure out this on myself. What do I got to do? So my friends are like, hey, come on, have a couple drinks. You'll forget about it. That wasn't a good idea because if I'm going to drown it away, well, now it's going to come out worse. So now I'm going to be more emotional, and that could be worse on y'all that don't understand. Not a good idea. Oh, well, take a Xanny bar. What's that? Well, it's like a horse tranquilizer or some shit. I don't know. It'll make you feel good and calm your nerves. Well, that don't work because now I just want to run around and go crazy because now all this shit's happened. So, some of the help can help. Some of the help don't help. Just depends on your perspective, on how you see the reality of things. Pro, you're awesome, man. Don't ever be sorry, okay, bro? You know what? Because I've always said this. If there's a loss in your life, whether it's family, friends, your emotional health, your logical health, it's a lesson, okay? So when you get that trigger and you keep getting triggered in these cycles, we all go through every 30 days and you don't get it. That's because your logic is not there enough to see the reality, what your emotions are keeping you down from moving on, healing from your trigger. Okay. So I learned about this thing called exposure therapy. Yeah, exactly what it sounds like, right? So you got to force yourself to go in that shit and you got to deal with it. So when I heard about it, I had some cool Army buddies like, woohoo, do some rednecking, right? We're going to go Walmart parking lot, get in the back of the trucks. We'll get the little grills going and we'll do the fireworks actually it was the Texas A&M parking lot over there by the Fort Hood. If y'all know where Texas and Fort Hood is, right? Which, by the way, that was my base. As a civilian, the military on civilian turf. Fort Hood is about 3/4 the size of Rhode Island. Just put that out there for you. So with this exposure therapy, I gave you guys that example. Here's my story, right? So I forced myself to go with my friends. And it was like, dude, you're from Alabama. You're cool as shit, dude, right? So sure. I'll have a little lemon drop, maple syrup. I'm not calling this dude out, but he made his own like moonshine, right? But it was like, what? Crazy. Right. So I was feeling all right. I was cool. Then boom, 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 boom. All this fireworks started happening. I started freaking out. But just you could see me start to sweat, getting a little antsy with the anxiety and all that stuff, right? And my stepson, I love this guy. He's so amazing. He's like some Mac Daddy at Amazon now. Guys like a company car. You know, I love you, Ben. You're a good guy, right? So check this out. He looked at me and was like, "Hey, Dad, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yes, I know. I'm making it. I'm making it." Right? And in that moment, it was so amazing because I actually had someone else recognize something that I was going through that they never experienced and had the compassion to give that support. And that was my cure of the tree. Forcing myself to go to do this 4th of July stuff when I was like, dude, are you kidding me? You can go. Sorry, honey. We're married 17 years. You can take the kids yourself because I ain't going. And I'm sticking to what I say, right? But when you make yourself do that, then you understand better. Now, one, you got the sack to do it, right? So this doesn't mean my situation. You have triggers too. You have things going on in your life that makes you want to snap, that makes you want to be depressed, whatever. AG was ready to jump Julie's ass because of why? He was triggered on something, right? So what are we going to do? A dude for bad man his own shine. Come on now. Yeah, still his own garage, dude. I was like, yeah. The love for someone else and compassion of someone else is amazing to help out. That's right, my friends. That is what we're talking about with the Empress. Unconditional love, right? Let's get into that for a second. You and I, everybody stereotypically says we're the same, right? Don't even come at me in the comments. Women are like, I want equal rights. I want the same pay as this man because he's working this job and I'm doing it right, okay? So if you can perform on the same level as anybody else, then you deserve what is offered. I'll give you that, okay? But when it comes to emotions, there is no equal level. Never with anybody until what? We do the exposure therapy, we put ourselves in sync as being on the same page, then now we understand those triggers. That's why we say, hey, honey, before I'm going to marry you, do you like to put the toilet seat down or not? And you're like, yeah. But then you leave it up, and then that's not really your way. So now you can have an issue, okay? And so when we can not get into that moment, or actually, if we do get into that moment, you cannot have the sack to be like, oh, well, hey, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, and get into ego, triggering the other person. Shame on you. Hey, honey, I normally do, but I forgot this time, okay? And doing that clarity is the exposure therapy. AG and Julie had it out. I was like, listen, we're going to do some exposure therapy right now. It might sting, it might hurt, it could be a disaster, but it never turned out that way. Because when you respect your own self and another person's boundaries, that is going to help you eliminate triggers with other people. But only if you accept your own truth and your own emotions to how you feel. That way, you genuinely see that truth in yourself, and you don't want to put that on somebody else. That's compassion. That's kindness. That's unconditional. That's the Empress. Now we're going to get to the root of some shit. Now we're going to really figure out what's going on. And then guess what? Kapow! We squash it. Done deal. It's over. Oh, boy. Julie, I wish you the best. Have a great, safe weekend if you're taking off. Hospice nurse. Woo! That's a tough job. Okay, that really is a tough job. That's hard to swallow with the emotional, especially if you're an empath. You're collecting all everybody's energy. So it's kind of rough. And I give you mad props for having that kind of idea. I could never do it because I've watched people die before, right in front of your face. And I wish that upon no one. No one. But when I had to go through it and see my soldier, my friend, his head this big because he snapped his brainstem, and you hear that beep. There's a couple of emotions that come around. One is that sorrow and that sympathy, right? The 2 is the guilty consciousness. That could be me because I'm living with survivor's guilt. But the 3rd impression was, it makes me value life so much more because it can be over like that. So that is exposure therapy. That is putting yourself in the situations in a respectable manner, like AG and Julie did, right? If y'all been following along for this long, right? I love it. It is a good gift. Thank you, Pro. Erica. I would love to understand that Reiki because I understand it's the whole energy draw onto the healing part of the body. And I actually started taking a couple courses. So I was actually going to do it, but I wasn't sure because it felt weird, like a massage therapy, but weirdly like not touching somebody. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah. So anyways, exposure therapy is perfect. It's great. I say you kick yourself in the ass and you say, listen, raise your hand if you're an asshole sometimes. Raise your hand if you're a nice person the majority of the time. So now we're going to understand what is the difference. What is making me be an asshole? Is it me, myself? Or is it that I stubbed my toe on the coffee table and it's a little pinky toe and it really hurts? And so now you're hopping around cursing like, what's the dad from A Christmas Story when the dogs came in and tore up the turkey? You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. And so we have to separate the idea of the triggers of your genuine emotional response or a trigger that someone put on you intentionally to have that emotional trigger come out. Okay. And a lot of people will hold that against you because they're going to treat you like a dick on purpose and then say, because of the way you reacted, you're the problem. Ha! What? Come over here so you can tell me that a little bit louder to my face, okay? That's a whole narcissistic crock of crap, okay? And that deserves any beat down, right? Just by the logic of it, not even with the emotions. But you got to handle it. You got to put it in a perspective. You got to now see it from that person's perspective. Why are they so hard on you with some things and some not, and targeting you for some things and some not, right? Some of it's probably, most of it's not even your business, not even your problem, not even of your doing. Because that person might be jealous, might be envious, could be like admiring you, but just has a weird way of showing things because of what they've gone through. And they have not taken the time to look at themselves, to see themselves in the true manner that now you're a reflection of the other person. So go ahead, kick yourself in the pinky toe and tell me how you ain't going to run around saying a whole bunch of expletives because that bitch hurt. Shut your face. Okay. That's the clarity that now we get when you do the exposure therapy and you put yourself in that situation. Well, damn, that looked like it hurt. So I don't know if it really hurt. So if I did it, then I'm going to know it hurts. Then now I see, I know, and I'm not going to put some shit on you like that again. Experience, my friends, going through some stuff. The mean people, yeah. Yeah, the mean people and the ego people. And I'm trying to keep up with y'all's comments. Erica, we all are vessels. We all are for the divine light. I've been in some deep, dark places. I've been through some deep, dark shit. I'm not even going to lie. Okay. But one thing I'm going to tell you is I've never changed who I am or how I respect myself, value myself, allow myself to do some of these exposure therapies to heal, or even just to be a natural flashlight to shine on for someone else. Okay. That's never changed for me. And I'll never let it change because, one, I don't know how to be anything but me. And so if people can't accept me, it's not my problem. It's not. When you think of that and you put yourself deep in that kind of rationality, well, guess what? Now your triggers aren't so bad. Now you're not feeling so bad for yourself. Now, because why? You seen what's going on, you feel what's going on because you stubbed your own damn toe. Now you're going to understand the other person's perspective. Now we're starting to get along. Now we're collaborating. Okay, now there's not a problem. We need to do that as a whole, my friends, because you know why? We got so many freaking problems here as a whole that everybody just wants to keep speaking about it. So let me pull it back, way back to my idea of the trash, because y'all keep talking and you get me all rambling and I'm like here, over there in left field, right? But with the trash, environmentalism, I made a video and said, listen, let's just go ahead and use some of these millions and millions of dollars that we're using to go to Mars with. Why? Is there a reason why we go to Mars so quickly? Let's make some disposable rockets, right? Disposable, like your raises, you use it a couple times on your ass, you throw in the trash, you're good, right? We'll make rockets like that. And then we'll pack it full of trash. Then we launch it into space. We let it go up so far, out of the atmosphere, out of all these satellites that are hogging up our orbit, and blow that bitch up. Done deal, over with, no more problems. That sounds like a irrational idea, doesn't it? Sounds far-fetched, sounds like crazy, right? But did you know I was watching on YouTube for 2 days straight when the freak Indian was going to actually land on the moon? Because this live channel, whatever, just kept rotating the views of the orbit of this place, but never showed him land it. I was like, oh my God, a nail biter. What's going on? Right? So I guess they landed or not, but still, it's the idea of getting that clarity, getting that truth, understanding what's going on, not only with yourself, but with everybody else. Rambling for sure, but I always try to bring that point because, like I said, my outreach of my thoughts compared to my speech is just tremendously off balance. So I'm always trying to feed and fill, and it's hard to keep up, okay? Because I like to talk. I'm very a communicative person. I like to express myself in a way that can bring it to you in your reality, okay? Sometimes it's a little too deep for people. Sometimes it's a little too fast. But when you bring the clarity like that, well, then I can understand, right? Because otherwise, I'm just going to keep going, and you're going to get lost. So if you raise your hand in school and say, can you repeat that? Then I'm going to be like, sure. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. It's exposure therapy. That's how we're working it out. Yes, I know you do, Prometheus, because we used to do that back in the day for a while. Everybody was jumping on board, right? And then, I don't know, just kind of got stupid because, honestly, there wasn't a lot of people that was giving some kind of information back. They're just like ranting and raving about stuff, and they weren't really trying to collaborate and come up with ideas. Everybody just want to bitch about the problems. I'm not that type of person. I'm a Virgo, Libra. So you give me a problem, I've already tried to figure out 6 ways to Sunday how to figure this out. And when I do, it's going to be the best solution that I've ever come up with in my life. That's just how I roll. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I love you too, my friend. You're amazing, right? You guys all are. You guys, you know, I got to give you this. For my loyals, you know who you are because you're on here now. You guys are like way more family than my actual freaking family. And that to me is the best thing that I could ever want in this realm that we're in. Okay, because it's not about the money, it's not about the views, it's not about getting famous. Because bitch, I'm already famous. If I'm in 68 countries and YouTube's gonna suppress my shit because I'm that good, please. Thank you. But the loyalty that you guys show me, that's the money. That's the value, right? Because what I'm sharing with you, what you share with me, we can take that to other people and then bring them in. Right. So now we're actually starting to get some shit done. We're not talking about no insurrection kind of fantasy shit. We're talking about wholesome collaboration with getting past triggers, getting past our emotional shit. Because the mind is a hell of a thing to waste. Surely is the most corruptible thing by the devil. What you got, pro? What you got for me, my friend? I am magical. Even though I think, aren't you the cusp of magic, Erica? I think so. If my memory serves me correctly. And hey, you're talking about Pennsylvania the other day. When you go into the outskirts or the country land of Pennsylvania, it's beautiful. So I can never say that I would never go there, but just want to get you that clarity. Cheers. I'm probably going to now go because it is Friday and the weekend, they cut that shit off. So thanks for implanting that idea in my brain. Because now I have a good idea what I can mix with my pomegranate Sprite. Boom. Thank you. Cheers to you, darling. Pro, what you got? Yeah, family now after a conversation, brother. Yep. I really would enjoy meeting you one day. Did you ever have someone who lived in? Well, that is so funny. I would love to do a collaboration with. I do travel as much as I can. I drove across country by myself from Texas to Boston for my daughter's graduation with just me and my dogs. When I had my Frenchie and I got my big old lab over there just chilling on the couch. We drove 1,900 miles all ourselves. So I do like to travel. And I would really, 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 really love to do this collaboration meeting thing, okay? It's probably crazy, probably tricky because there's so many different people in so many different states and trying to round all that up. But I would love to just have like this picnic idea, right? And everybody's just sitting down, jaw jacking about whatever, collaborating with each other, throwing ideas, just kind of getting that bond and just doing that shit live. Like right now, just doing it live, but everybody together. That would be amazing. I'll be definitely down for that, my friend. The West Coast stop. Well, hey, I'm in Texas, so I'm in the middle, right? So you guys got to meet me in the middle, okay? So the East Coast got to come over here, Pennsylvania, and then we got the West Coast coming over here. So what are we gonna meet? Like Oklahoma? I don't know, something like that. I definitely need a vacation for sure. I was kind of jelly of my daughter because she had a little vacation after she graduated. I flew her out here for like 2 weeks. We're just kicking it. I was like, damn, I wish I need that, right? Because I would go to Vegas, I would go to Boston, Florida, so many stupid times, especially like Clearwater Beach, nice white sands, perfect, right? Yeah. But I don't know. I would definitely a solo tribe trip. Ding, 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 ding. That is, you know what? I'm gonna write that down. Where's my pen? Yeah. Let me write that down. Because AG, that was the most amazing idea that you've had. This is my book of shit. Okay. I have 7, 8 notebooks of this kind of stuff. Okay. I just got to let it out somehow. Okay. So, AG suggested a soul. It's already ruined, I'm sure, by now because we got some hackers on here stalking it to see what kind of ideas come out. Now you're going to hear on YouTube, oh, guess what? We're going to do this trip. Whatever, punks, right? Soul Tribe trip. Let me just rack that in my brain because I really like that idea, okay? I don't know. I just have this really good vibe about that idea. Okay. And it could be relatively soon because I've been doing some things that should come all together to really now offer some kind of generosity to you and to others to maybe pull this off together on my behalf. Okay. So don't hold me to it. It's just the idea. I'm still working some factors, but now I definitely am going to really pull this in. South Dakota. Yeah. Oregon. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Pro. Yeah. I do know somebody in Oregon. It's the father that I never met in my entire life. He actually lives in Eugene, Oregon, right? That's where my dad lives. He's not my father because my father lives upstairs. He's my dad, right? Big difference. Yes. Yes. AG, if you want my email, it is on my page, earthlydivineintuitivetarot@gmail. And you guys should be collaborating emails together so then you can talk amongst yourselves and have your coffees, right? I'm just the match. You guys are the fire. So, yeah, we handled some social media issues. We talked about some shit in school for the kids, right? We even talked about, I don't care, how neglectful, how selfish some parents are towards their own children. And that is disgusting because those young little innocent creatures, which are your mini me's, by the way, those are your future. So if you don't give a shit about your future and you're just going to let your kids ride, trash your house, do whatever you want, well, I think that's a precursor to what the future looks like, right? Because nobody's going to want to be a dump truck trash pickup guy. Why? Because everybody wants to make money on YouTube and sell candy bars in Walmart. Not calling anybody creators' names, but when you're brown nose for the corporate, this is what you got to deal with. Same with the music industry, all that. And you lose your creativity because you try to fit in. Pittsburgh in the house. Oh, New Orleans. There you go. We are not going to like the voodoo section though. Okay. Just telling you that. Okay. We go in some weird shops and stuff like that, but no voodoo stuff. Okay. So I don't know about the French Quarter, but Louisiana sounds good because that's only about maybe six-ish, 8-ish hours from where I'm at because I'm in Central Texas, right? So somewhere around this area, if we can coordinate a couple people to come together as one, as our family picnic, we should, right? It should be some kind of closeness to where everybody can kind of move. Pennsylvania, you got a couple more states to hop compared to like Arizona or some shit. But, you know, like I said, let me keep working some things out here, and I'll definitely give you an update because I've already scribed it. Okay, so that means it's already an idea in my head. So you can all thank AG for this, right? You better bring some hot dogs and some or turkey dogs or, you know, some kind of food because I'm serious about a picnic. I really want us to do that. However we could. Maybe we need to pull in together, work something out. I don't know yet. So more ideas you got, throw me an email. Please throw me an email. I love the comments, but like I said, we got these secret spies, jump on some shit, and hog it up. Sometimes I don't mind the flattery because, let me show you something real quick. Inspiration comes from imitation, and imitation comes from imagination, right? How do you like that? So when I do my tarot, there's one card, very specific, that I coined a phrase for. Okay. And so it just happens to be, I don't have the right deck. Maybe not. Let me see. Let me keep going here. Give me 1 second. It's like me shuffling the cards, right? I'm really good at a lot of shit, but some of the simple things I'm a catastrophe with. When I was little, I used to practice shuffling the cards. Like straight up, I would shuffle all the time. I'm horrible at it still. just like my pre-algebra. Just some things I don't get. But you want to talk about science, you want to talk about history, you want to talk about spirituality, you might want to take a seat. Right. So we can accept things that we are and what we're not and strive to be better for the things that we're not for what we are. Where's this card now? Come on. It's getting there. It's gonna do this to me to be like the last one. Where are you? Come on. I know you're in there. Pretty close to the end. 4 or 5 off. Okay, see this card? Ace of Pentacles, right? Ace of Pentacles, right? So see this right here? This road here? That's like a road, right? And it's yellow. So I coined the phrase, you're going to be following the yellow brick road, because that kind of looks like a yellow brick road, right? Lo and behold, as soon as I did that, now everybody was coining the phrase. And I'm like, okay, great. I didn't copyright it. I didn't trademark it. It's fair use act of the internet. So go ahead and use it. So like I said, inspiration comes from imagination, but it comes from what else? Imitation. We do as our parents did. That's what now we're talking about. Generational curses, my friend. Right? So if your parents smoked and you didn't smoke and you thought it was bad, eventually there's going to be a point in your life where you're going to have that challenge to either see you're going to accept it or not. It turns out we're going to smoke just like our parents did. Oh my God. Now we're carrying on generational curses. How do you break those? Ancestral clearing yesterday. Oh, that's interesting, Erica. Clearing? I'm trying to gather my ancestral. Irish twin. You have a twin, AG? Stop it. I always wondered what that was like. I'd be like, I don't know. I might have been like, hey, bro, or hey, sis, can you like go to my class for me? That'd be a trip. Past life regression. Pendulum clearing. Okay, this is my thing with the pendulum. If you're going to hold that bitch, well, no one is perfect in their shaky hand. So I think the pendulum has to be fixed and mounted for that to properly magnetically work. I've seen readers have their little necklace and their pendant, right? Look at hey, Erica. Look at, is that a yes or is that a no? That's what I'm saying. So I'm sure you're intelligent enough to understand those kind of little details that could make or break your whole perspective, right? Clarity, right? Exposure therapy. Amen, sister. I really enjoyed our little meeting we had. That was great, right? So, okay, how about this? Here's an idea. So if financially we can't get this picnic together with the picnic basket and the boo-boo, you know what I'm saying? Hey, boo-boo. Let's do it live. Let's do a virtual picnic, okay? So, I don't know. I mean, you could bring your own food and eat whatever, but I would really love for us maybe to all, like, there was a game show, like the 70s, 80s, Hollywood Squares. Remember that? Anybody raise your hand? Hollywood Squares. And you had all these actors and actresses and, you know, famous people in these little boxes, right? And it was like kind of like the Brady Bunch in their little intro, you know, where you had all the kids and then, you know, the parents. But with the Hollywood Squares, there's all the actors and actresses, singers, whatever. We should do that, but on the Zoom, right? Everybody get a Zoom. And then we'll coordinate this meeting so that we all can huddle up like we're locked down from the prick to evade the pandemic. And now we're all virtually going to school. But we're going to be huddled as this family unit, Zoom-wise, Brady Bunch style / Hollywood Squares. And then you, AG, could see Julie, and Julie could see you, and everybody could see Erica because y'all see me. That's how we should work it out. And I love that idea. So if we can't really physically do it, hey, let me rephrase that. If we physically can't meet together and do this in person, then we should definitely do it on the Zoom, baby. We have 5. We need 9. No, Erica, you forget I have my own website. I'll enlist all of y'all to come onto my website via link, like I sent you your video, and have you join the meeting. I don't need any of this crap that we're doing now. You come to my side and we'll get everybody on board. So there's more than 9. I guess whatever the Zoom could be, their limit could be like a maximum of people. But I definitely think might be like 25, something like that. Skype, well, Skype is sketchy. It kind of glitches in and out. I would really probably trust Zoom better because it really would work and lock it down. Hey, peace and love. How are you hiding in the background? I'm sorry I didn't scroll through all the comments because everybody's just chatting it up. So, hi, how are you? Welcome. Glad you made it. Right? What are we at? 206? Ooh, 206.10. 18. 6 and 2 is 8, 10, 18. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 is supposed to be a lucky number, right? So remember I talked about the triggers, the synchronicities. We're talking about things. I looked at the time, added it up to be 7. We're all talking about collaborating and coming together in a Zoom. It all sounds like it's supposed to come together the way it's supposed to be as we're talking. Booyah. Yes. Bet group. I pay attention. All right. All right. Zoom is great, right? Meetings all the time. Kids do it for the school, right? Veterans do it, right? I love it, right? Everybody looks at, oh, yeah. Everybody's on board so far, right? Great. So now that is how things are supposed to work, right? One idea for many minds, because now that one idea can be one mind, right? It just takes the clarity. It takes the truth. It takes the nutsack to put it out there, right? You know, and it takes that leader person to bring that inspiration, bring those feelings out, bring those triggers out. So then now things get worked out in the way they're supposed to be. So the guidance is not advice. The suggestions are not implants, because these whacked out tarot readers on here, did you know some of them are legit psychologists? Wait, let's back up and rewind that. You're a psychologist, but you're going to come on YouTube and start a channel and do some taroting, which you're really using your psychological tactics because you're now studying the book of the definitions of this tarot. That sounds too manipulative to me. But I'm going to smell it, and I'm going to tell you, that's bogus. You're probably not going to like me for it, but that's your shame, not mine. See how we handle the triggers? That's right. Subscribers only. AG, are you not a subscriber? I'm sorry, this is a Front Street now. It would be family members only, yes. And AG, I would assume and know that you are. But yes, family members only. I mean, just for us, just for the picnic, right? Just till we all get collaborated together, till we all get our, spot together, seeing each other, hanging out, right? Then maybe we can expand it, right? Bring other people aboard, like the Subway person or your grocery store bagger. Yeah. Fun stuff. So listen, I know that I rambled on a bunch of stuff, but y'all kept up pretty well, okay? That, my friends, is magnificent and marvelous and miraculous. because to hear what kind of trash I might have to say, in some way you related to it. That's all I could ever ask for. Because if I'm going to respect you as a person and what you think and how you feel and how you work, I want the same idea. When you get that collaboration like that, look at you locking it together. Ain't nothing going to break it. So y'all give a round of applause to AG because he's making. We got this wrapped up. We're going to do this Brady Bunch Zoom no matter what. Because now it's in the book of secrets. I scribed it. And now I'm going to prescribe it. So I will coordinate the date and time. So that way you guys have a little bit of an advance to know, hey, I'm going to be at work at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. This ain't going to work for me because I've tried to pull some members only Zoom meetings like that. And I think I only had Prometheus as my members hit it up when I was trying to do the collabo. So if you're going to sing it, you better bring it because I'm going to plan it. And that's it, damn it. I think I'm going to leave it right here, my friends. You guys are amazing. I love you to death. Look at you guys as running up these comments. Okay, clean and sober is great. You know, some people can handle their tea. Some people can't. You know what I mean? So if you know your trigger, then you're going to be fine. And being around other people that are going to cause you to trigger, if you're aware of it and you're handling it, then it shouldn't bother you. Okay. So we got to respect those boundaries for other people as well. Okay. So I'm sure there's other people that are not going to push it on you, just like you're not going to push it away from somebody. Okay. It's perfect. Love it. Love it. You guys are amazing. Yeah. What is this? 2:11? 2 hours and 11 minutes. I wonder how much ad campaigns I'm going to get run on this one. Yeah. And sorry if you guys, some of y'all had that intercession where there's a little break with a commercial break in between this live. That's just the advertisements and the way they roll it out. So I can't control when you see an ad and when you don't, right? But I really appreciate it if you let that 15 seconds run out. Who cares? It's not going to affect your life. 10, 15 seconds to let them run out. You click it off, 2 seconds. Well, it's going to affect me a little bit in the output of this video and how they run their ads and monetize. Whatever. It's for you guys to come together as we are. It's never about the money. It's never about the corporation. It's never about the conglomerate monopolies that going on with this stuff. It's about reaching people as authentically as I can to make you be as authentic as you are. So, my friends, you are awesome. You are amazing. But one thing I'm going to say, please, everybody in this live right now, if you don't have a sign as a Cancer, because it's not your sun sign or your rising sign or your moon sign, dude, at least look at my shorts, okay? There's more messages on this channel than just with tarot. So you better get your little buns in gear and go look at my shorts, okay? Because that's when you're going to see the clairaudience. You're going to see those signs and synchronicities of things. Those, to me, are very, very important. So there's a playlist of all those shorts. Some are funny. Some are stupid with my dogs, me goofing off. But everything has a message. Everything has a reason. And we're all here for that. And so I am very thankful for you guys to be here, taking the time out of your day. Facts, Libra, Scorpio, cusp. Peace and love. You're great. I love it. Libra, Scorpio, right? Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a little secret, a little gems. There you go. Okay. So when I was talking about Virgo, Libra, yeah, that's me. Right? Some of y'all too. Libra sun, Virgo moon, Scorpio rising. In your face, suckers. That's all you're going to get from me with that. So I appreciate your time. I'm going to go let my dog out to go potty. I'm starving. So I'm going to eat. And thank you for all these suggestions of woohoo. Because now I'm going to go to the store. Thanks for the programming. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. You guys are amazing. You're the best. You're wonderful. And okay, wait. Okay, go ahead, AG. You got a serious question? Hit me with it before I take off. Cancer rising, huh? Ah, you're so sweet. Thank you, peace and love. Union with the same energy. Erica, I wish you a great weekend. If you already took off, I'm sorry. If you're still here, have yourself a good one. Okay, AG, what is your serious questions? Or just bring one question about the cusp. Because cusps is a real deal. I don't care what anybody says. Astrologies, or I should say astrologers, right? My birthdays are between two signs, but that's got to mean something. So that definition is what I am. And so how can you deny that? Makes no sense. Don't worry, everybody. We're just waiting on AG. Got a question about some kind of cusp thing. What is this? What do you got? Okay. So Libra, Scorpio, cusp, sun. So is your sun sign Libra and your moon sign's a Scorpio? Is that what you're trying to say? 29.9 degrees. Oh, so now we're going to get into the aspects of the chart that you're rolling on, huh? That's some deep diving, my friend. I'm very understanding of the chart in all your 12 houses. Maybe the degrees, because the math is a little bit tricky for me. But, we'll get it with the planets and at least with the zodiacs. So what exactly is your question? Are cuspers real? That is such an amazing question that reminds me of people that are so religious that have this angst and disparity against people that are spiritual. Okay. So now if you really look up the definition of religion, you'll find that spirituality is in there, legitimately in the definition. And by characteristic, religion ties into the same rituals as spirituality. You know why? Here's a perfect example. You got the Pope walking with his little ball of smoke. He's walking and he's shaking it all up and down the aisle. So now what does he do? He's basically saging the church to get your punk ass energy out of there, right? Clearing the house. That's religion. That's one of their rituals. That's one of their practices. What do spiritual people do? They do the same shit, man. They got the incense. They got the sage. They burn it in front of you, or just going to clear this out a minute so that way your energy is gone, right? Same thing, right? So now cusps are real because there is a thing called the zodiac. So when you look up in the sky and you see the constellations from Earth's perspective, looking up, they're in a circle. The zodiac is in a circle. So that circle now represents what? Like a clock. That clock has 12 hours on it, correctly? Right, 1 through 12. That's my clock right there. Same thing with the zodiac. You have 12 signs in the zodiac. So when you're looking up in the sky and you recognize those star constellation clusters, those are your zodiacs. And they're in order like a clock. So tell me, this is the reality that I'm going to put you on, my friend. When you look at your clock, does your hand that could be on 12 jump right to 1 o'clock and then jump right to 2 o'clock and then jump right to 3 o'clock? Because if it does, then you're not in my world. No, it goes from 12 to 12:01, 12:02, 12:03, 12:04, 12:05. And that in between time. So from 12 to 1, that in between time are the cusps. Because now when you're looking up at the constellations called your zodiac signs in the clock formation, which by the way, it goes counterclockwise up there. There's the sun. that is the hand of your clock. So if the sun is at 12 o'clock, now we're looking at the sun in the constellation, say Aries, because Aries is the first sign of the constellations of the clock. So Aries will technically be 12. And then on and on and on. So tick, 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 boom. That sun is not going to jump from in its rotation, because the sun is also rotating as like a clock. The sun is at 12. It's in Aries. Now it's got to go tick, 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 boom. Now we're in Taurus. Too easy? And so the degrees, my friend, is just how far along that sun is to that next sign. Same thing with your chart. If you have a Aries sun sign, now when we go past sun, moon, and rising sign, the rising sign, which is just your personality and who you are, you show to the world. Your actual sun sign is not who you portray to be until you are comfortable and you trust somebody. That is now what you show to other people. Otherwise, y'all's rising signs, that's who you really are in this moment when you portray yourself to a stranger. And then your moon sign, obviously, we know that's your emotions, okay? But after that, you have all the planets. Because if we're talking about sun, moon, and rising, right? Rising, Venus signs, you heard, right? All this, right? So then you have the Mercury. And then you have, obviously, the Venus. And then you have, the Mars. And then you have the Jupiter. And then you have the Saturn. And then y'all have an anus. And we go on to Pluto, right? So all the way around, you got all those planets. Now, just like the sun being tick, 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 boom, from being at 12 o'clock to 12:01, 12:02, 12:03, 12:04. So from 12:01 to 12:04, that is in between Aries and Taurus. So now that in between time, the sun does still hop and hop and hop. It ticks like a freaking clock. So now in between time is the cusp. That means you, my friend, get to share that in between time of Aries and Taurus, because half of you is an Aries and the other half of you is a Taurus. And not everybody gets to share that experience because they're not born in the between time. Limited people, limited views, limited perspective. Right. So now with the planets, my friend, my son is both Libra. AG, you cannot have a Libra sun and a Scorpio sun. It is impossible. It's not what makes it to be true. Scorpio in the 4th house, I can see that. Aries rising, I see that. But AG, unless I'm confused, there's no two sun signs. My son is both Libra and Scorpio. It's not possible. You are only either on one specific zodiac at the time of your birth, or you're in between to the rotation of the next zodiac sign, because it is a clock. And that in between time is where your sun sign is going to be. So with the cusp signs, there's only fact check me here. I think 6 days, 4 to 6 to 8 days, I forget, that rotation goes, okay? Because we're talking 30 days, right? Rotations, right? Clock time, minutes. Because you can't have a clock with just hours. You got to have a clock with minutes too. And the cuspers are the minute people. The regular signs, Aries, Taurus, because there's only a certain amount of days that sun sign is in transition. And look up the word cusp. Goggle that, and it will tell you it's the beginning. So you're in transition, is the beginning of one sign to another. So when you leave when the sun gets out of Aries constellation, on that very first day it leaves that constellation, now you're in the cusp zone. Tick, 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 boom. So many days till now it's in Taurus. If you were born in that middle, you, like I said, you share that Aries and that Taurus characteristic personality traits. Tell me I'm lying. My friend, I love it. 29.9 degrees in Libra. Yes. So all my other planets are in Libra, 4th house. So there's 12 planets. And majority of those planets are for you or in Libra. That is like superly freakingly phenomenal. October 23rd, I hear you. Mwah, right? So I think AG, check this out. I'm not exactly sure where you got your information. I'm not saying you're not knowing your information, but here's the clarity because we're family and this is how I put it on y'all. Go to cafeastro.com. I'm promoting them all day long. I don't care. I'm not getting paid for this, whatever. Cafeastro.com. Okay, you're going to put in your name, you're going to put in your birthplace. But the main specific thing you got to do is you got to put that exact time you were born. If it was 5:01 a.m., that's what you need to put in. Okay? Because like I'm saying, it's like a clock. So every minute, every hour counts to get the precise clarity and the truth of who you are in that exact moment. And this is what that website does. It will put you on your birth chart exactly as who and what you're supposed to be. And it'll even give you your south node and your north node, okay? And then you can branch off from that and you come over and get on my website and we'll do a personal reading and then you'll have your chart. But then now we can do some numerology and then you can figure out your life path. So when you understand your birth chart, according to the planets lined up in the constellation, you know, for example, if you have a Mercury planet in the constellation Aries in your chart, that means that Mercury rules communication. So that means the communication that you have as a characteristic has the traits of an Aries. So you're going to be loud and you're going to be the first one to be in the doorman. Look at me. That's an Aries. In Mercury, that's how you will perform in your communication. Okay. So each planet has its own characteristics. Each zodiac has its own characteristics. So when you understand those two, now you know yourself better. And every Aries is almost all the same because they all share the same traits. Same with Taurus, same with Gemini. They all have those characteristic trait personalities that are all similar. But the only difference is where now your planets are lined up. And when you get in your chart, you understand that better. Then when you branch off more than that, go into the numerology, then you take your exact birth date and you do this calculation and you break it down to one single number. Some people are lucky to have the 2. And now we're talking about master numbers. That's a different destiny that you have. So now we break it down even further to understand on a deeper level who you are, how you're going to act. And when you know that stuff, dude, it's so easy now to know yourself. But not only that, now you know other people. So if you're a Libra, just saying, if you're a Libra and you're trying to get in the dating world and you know this stuff, well, I think there's going to be certain signs that you're going to want to stay the freak away from, okay? Because they're just not compatible. That's why we have those zodiac comparable love things that everybody does. And, oh, are you matched up with Gemini and all this other crap, right? Those are real. But it's got to be truth and clarity based off the real of your exact birth date, your exact time, and your location. So that way we know where the sun is on the clock to tell you now your story of who the hell you are. How you like that? So you guys are amazing. I love breaking it down for you. I only do the Western one. I mean, I've studied a little bit of the Studied a little bit of the tropic, but I just don't like to get too, what do they say that when they combine churches together, now you're non-denominational, right? And the Vedic, the Vedic, that, my friend, we're going back ancient history, okay? I've been cracking into some of that. I've been learning some of the epics and things like that. I haven't actually got into that astrology because I'm not a divinator, okay? I don't use black magic. I'm not rolling the runes and shit because a lot of that stuff is based off paganism, okay? Tarot, sure, you could say it's witchcraft, all this other stuff, but go back in your history, my friends, because that shit goes way back to ancient Babylonian times and probably even farther than that to what? Understand where this design in the sky was with these bright lights, and it looks like a bull. So now we're just going to call it Taurus. And now because we had an earthquake on this day that I seen it like this, now we're going to associate earthquake with that Taurus. So now when the Taurus comes around, it could be another earthquake. Now we're going to get into the Farmer's Almanac, and now we're going to kind of predict of how future things are going to happen based off past experiences. This is not divination, my friends. This is just wisdom and knowledge based off of as above, so below. Okay, those are the clues. Those are the SOS, signs of synchronicities. Okay, don't forget that stuff. The Vedic is very deep. They have like the Mahabharata, the Ramata. I'm probably butchering the language. I'm sorry. I love the Indian culture. I have Indian friends. I get turned on some of the Indian food, right? So learning the religion of the idea is great, but it's still not the same as that monotheism, the one God compared to their multiple gods, okay? Because you have, a fertility god, and you have, a nature god, and then you have the water god, and then you have the air god, and all these crazy gods that is just hard to understand. So it's a lot. It's pretty deep. Kind of about halfway in through all that stuff, but I kind of pull myself away because it feels to me on that idol worship thing. Okay, I don't think that I need to pray to, a cow god to have fertility or whatever. I'm not dissing the religion. I'm not dissing their basis ideas because they're, to me, are the oldest kind of knowledge that we have written, right? And they tell a lot of good stories. So I would really think that some of this stuff is more based in reality, but just lost in the evolution of our society, right? Suppression of information and all that shit. So you don't know who the hell you are or what's going on. I'm just going to keep you dumb, pay all the taxes, right? Speaking of taxes. So you get money from your work and they tax you, right? So then you go to the store and you got to buy something with your money that was already taxed. So they take money from you. Now you got to go buy something. So they take what is owed from what you're going to buy, but then they tax you again, right? So that at the end of the year, the money that you spent, which was already taxed, which was the money that you got, which was already taxed. Now at the end, they're going to tax you again for all that, which was already taxed. So now you get taxed 3 times. That's why the Federal Reserve was enacted by Congress only to help the little banks become big and solid, not become the conglomerate private institution they like to think they are. It's Congress that elected this Federal Reserve, only for backup, only for help. Now the primary. Came with the Ponzi scheme. What is this, America based off the mafia? Pretty much. I know I'm going to get myself in trouble for a lot of this stuff. I don't care. Because a lot of y'all knows the truth. It's the clarity that I bring. So you guys are amazing. And I am about done with this 233. Woo! So if you want more information, if you want more personal, detailed, specific things, please jump on my website. Let's get on this. We'll do a little Zoom, do a little personal, because I do the spiritual development, I do the life coaching, and I do the tarot. Okay. And if you do sign up to get one of those going on, they're fair prices. Okay. They really are. I'm not going to josh you, but I'll even give you a little discount. I'll throw 10% off if you want to do that. Okay. Just because, not that I need the money, it's more of like, I think you need the information. Okay. So hit me up in the emails. Let me know if you guys want to do that. or just jump on my About Me page. The links are all there. Smash that shit. Take you right securely encrypted to go right to my website. All secure settings, all that stuff. And we'll get this rolling, okay? Don't forget, it's all AJ's fault. Now we're going to have this Hollywood Squares thing going on. Love y'all. Enjoy yourself. Be safe, be brave, be blessed, be well. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm out.